Afternoon, and thanks for joining us right here on Midday, Kentucky. How are we both this morning?
Hi, pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm feeling good.
And there we're chipping through the week here.
Oh, Wednesday, hump day, feeling good.
Isn't that hump day?
Yeah.
It is hump day.
And you were telling me Yoda and what's her name? Kathy and Yoda? Or
Oh, Kathy and Hoda. Yeah, they always
Hoda?
drink wine. I think we should have wine down Wednesdays.
But you said it's called Wine Down Wednesdays, and I said they do wine every day.
Well, in the bluegrass here, we should have like Bourbon Fridays or something,
Do you
right?
like that?
I
I
think
can get on
Eric
board
would
with
advocate
that.
for
Well,
that.
here's the thing, if we did Bourbon Fridays, I wouldn't make it to the end of the show.
Oh, see, now
Because-
this is the end of my day. So if I
Yeah.
just, had one little tumbler to start the weekend at noon,
Right.
get through midday.
I'm
and-
scared you wouldn't come back the next day.
Well, that's why we do it on Friday. Of course I'm not going to come
I'll
back
reach
on
out
a
to
Saturday.
some breweries for sponsorship.
Okay, I want to kick this off, and it's something that I think I've got a bit of a conversation about it, but I'm going to
Okay.
get your opinions first.
All right.
And also, this is something out there for all the mums. Well, those who travel regularly are more than likely to aware of what it's like to be seated next to or near a screaming baby. And while the unexpected tantrums or screaming fits are often out of their control, parents are still usually met with scathing looks, sighs, and snide comments. Apparently a look from Troy now and then. One couple has earned the praise of thousands after presenting their fellow passengers with goodie bags when flying with their 18-month-old twin, just remember, twin girls for the first time. And this is what's in the package. Hello, our names are Ashley and Abby. We're twins and we just turned 18 months. And this is our first time on an aeroplane. And that's what was said on the note inside the goodie bag. Here's the thing, there was a lot of conversation about this on Facebook and Instagram. They posted
I like
it.
what's in those bags.
Well, yes, there's
Earplugs?
chocolates and earplugs. Okay,
Okay.
they're saying we're sorry. We might start screaming. Who knows? Here's the thing: is I understand it's completely out of the parents' control. I really do, and I appreciate that. Do I think the other passengers should be upset with the parents? No, but there were negative responses to the parents giving these sweets out to fellow passengers, basically saying that they didn't feel that they should be on the flight to begin with.
Well, how are they supposed to get to where they need to go? What if
Okay.
it's a family funeral, family event? Kids have to travel. That does not bother me at all. Yeah, I don't want to sit next to a screaming baby, but on a flight, I always see that as this is obviously somewhere that kid needs to go. The only time I'm ever annoyed by a misbehaving child is maybe in a restaurant. I feel like after a certain amount of time, 10, 15 minutes, it may be time to leave the restaurant, because then I think you're having that choice. But the initial tantrum doesn't bother me, and on a flight, that's actually never really bothered me. And I've had that experience, but I mean, the kids got to get to where across the country if they need to be there.
No, I got you.
I think they have a right to fly, obviously,
Yeah.
and I like what this family did. They
I
took,
love it.
They took the initiative.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it would have taken to put in all those baggies and everything? It at least shows that
Well,
they're
they got
acknowledging
twins.
it.
It's,
So-
I think it's a
Yeah.
sweet gesture.
It really is, and they're saying,
Okay.
hey,
Troy doesn't think so.
We know this could be tough. We're sorry, but then there's the couple that didn't do anything and just said, hey, deal with it. They have a right to fly. It is what it is. Get some
Well,
good
no, I
headphones.
don't disagree. It's something that I find, for someone who doesn't have children, I have 6 godchildren, so it's not that I don't like children. It's not about that at all.
Right, well, none of us
but
have children,
I think it's you've hit the nail on the head when it comes to restaurants. I find it a little irritating when people bring babies to movie houses. I know I was chatting to our producer about that in our pre-production meeting, and that's something that we were like, is that a bad thing? I know some of our team here at the station have little kids, and they bring them into work.
I don't
sometimes.
think it's an
I
issue
just-
bringing the child anywhere. I think, well, that's age appropriate. But if, then just once the child starts misbehaving, I think after a certain time, it may be time to leave. But maybe you want to go see a movie and your baby's going to sleep the whole time. I have no issue with the baby being there, but if the child starts crying and having a temper tantrum at some point,
I think the parents get just as
you can
upset
leave.
as what.
Yeah,
Everyone else
I
does,
know.
to be
I actually
honest
feel more bad for the parent than I do myself. I'm like, that.
I know
Because
there
it's not
was,
their fault.
there was the airline a few months ago. I don't know if it was JetBlue, but if 3 babies cried on the flight, everyone got a free flight. So they were kind of cheering it on at
wow.
one point. But it just shows that, it's an issue. It's not going anywhere. Infants are going to continue to fly. It's just how we as society deal with it, or the airline. I mean, if you have that bad of a time, take it up with customer service. Maybe they'll give you a little voucher and say, we're sorry you had
Here's
a
a
bad
$25
experience.
meal.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. moving along on that one, tell us what you think. We've got it up on our
Wait,
Facebook
I have one more
page as
question
well.
on
Yeah.
this. Do you think, and I've heard this, a lot of airlines came out with people, over a certain weight or a certain size, they have to buy an extra seat. I've heard the argument a lot that it cramps your space when you have a baby because people keep them on your lap and you don't have to get an extra seat to even put them in a child seat. Do you think that you should have to purchase an extra seat if you're bringing your baby just to keep more space between you and that other passenger?
I don't think you should. I think, isn't there a fee if your child is under 2 or something?
I think it's a
about
lap
flying for
fee,
free?
though. It's a lap fee.
Yeah. Look, I
I'm
think
fine with that, but I've heard the argument a lot saying
you're
you should have to buy another
Gonna
seat.
charge me $50 for a bag one way. They're gonna
Yeah.
find a way to charge.
you've
no
got to
matter
get a
what.
new airline, my friend.
Yeah.
If you have an airline
I
charging
travel
you-
with a backpack.
Yeah.
I could do a week with just a backpack. That is,
Well, I was just wondering,
put
because
that-
I always hear people
put
saying
that
with the
on
weight
my
thing.
life skills.
I got you. Hey, something that I found absolutely fascinating and opens up a whole debate about our privacy as well. And you're talking about someone who is suing Uber.
Oh, I couldn't believe this story.
I love
Everyone's
this.
talking about it, Facebook, Twitter, and everything. This is a classic tale of betrayal with a bit of a modern twist. An affair leads to a broken marriage, but this was after it was discovered by one person in the marriage that the husband was cheating. This happened in France, and she discovered it through his Uber account. And now the husband is suing Uber for $48 million, accusing Uber of a glitch. Now, this is what he says happened.
You said France, didn't you?
This happened in France,
Yep.
yes. He used his wife's cell phone to log into his Uber account once, logged out of his Uber account, and then went back into his own phone for whatever
Yeah.
reason. She was able to log back into his account from her phone, and so for a period of time, she was tracking his movements, and he was having an affair, and she followed him there and divorced him. So now he's blaming Uber for this glitch that let her back into his account. What do you guys think?
Well, they're from France. They're not really affairs. It's what Frenchmen do.
But is Uber at fault?
See,
But is
do you
Uber
like
at
that
fault?
one?
I didn't know that. So there.
French and
That's
the
what they do.
Italians.
Oh, I don't want a European then.
Well, you're sort of almost halfway there, my friend. He's Greek.
He's got to go now. I hope he doesn't have Uber.
What do you think? Do you think it's worth $45 million to sue Uber because you got caught with your pants down?
I think the technical glitch is unfortunate for him, but sorry, dude, you cheated. Your loss. $45 million seems a bit much.
I think she should pay Uber as a thank you for
Yeah,
getting
maybe.
out of that horrific marriage, and now she knows who he really is. Thanks to
It
Uber.
might not have been horrific. Let's
He's a
let's
cheater.
Be clear. Yes, he might have cheated. I'm not defending people who
wasn't
have
one-
affairs.
it was a
but I
long
always
affair.
believe if the cooking's not good at home, you don't go out for takeout. Coming from an Italian family myself. Okay.
You're safe. You're
All right, so we don't blame Uber.
I'm saying, no, but look, I think it's very unfortunate, but I also think $45 million is a bit much. And it's not
Well, I want to
Uber's
know
fault
this.
he's
If you
having
were
an
the
affair.
wife, though, and you suspect something, would you log on to your partner's Uber account to track their movements?
Well,
Do you
when-
feel like that's a gross invasion of privacy there?
We've talked about this
Yeah.
a little bit on the show, how the bride engraves something on the wedding
Yeah,
ring.
we just talked
and
about that.
We talk about these type of things all the
Trust.
time. And I think to myself, if you have an insecurity or a suspicion about your husband or wife having an affair, do you need to check out someone's phone? Do you need to investigate? I think it's a rocky line. Do you want to know? That's the first thing. Do you want to know if your partner's having an affair?
Would you do it, Eric?
Or
Would
do
you
do
check
what
the
the
Uber?
French do and don't worry about it. We just have a bit of brie and a French stick and we have a bit of
Wipe
red
your
wine
hands
and
of
off
it.
we
There you
try.
go.
Hey, whatever you think about politics and whatever side you are on, it's something that we're all discovering right now when it comes to letting unseasoned could-be politicians into the White House.
Now, this is not a political
This is
discussion
this
at all.
is not a political
Okay.
discussion. Don't be
But
scared.
Kid
But
Rock.
Let's talk about Kid Rock.
Kid Rock, his name has been reportedly thrown out as a potential Republican contender for a Michigan senator seat. She is a Democrat. According to
He
roll call, no, she is.
All right, got
she
you.
is the one that her seat or her term is
Oh,
coming
got
to
you,
an end.
sorry.
And that's who will face in the election if he does run. But according to roll call, Rock's name was brought up at a Michigan Republican Party convention last weekend. There have been no official decisions announced just yet. Billboard reached out to the musicians rep for comment. No response from them. Now, in the past, Rock has been a vocal supporter of Republican candidates. He described his politics as more libertarian. Last year, Rock got behind Trump's winning presidential bid to perform at the RNC, and in 2012, he actually performed at Mitt Romney's rally in Michigan during his run for president. So maybe his beliefs are great, and he could be a great senator, but the question is, there's two conversations. Is this going to become the norm, that we're going to have more celebrity-type people filling our important positions? Now, athletes have done it in the past, and we don't seem to blink an eye. And can you put, his previous art or his work behind him and now just see him as a different person from the guy screaming, a couple of years ago in his music?
I'm going to let you take it if you'd think to, because I've got a lot to say.
Think of it this way.
I guess for me, I would just have to look at each situation differently. A lot of people liked Arnold Schwarzenegger when he got into politics, and he was originally a celebrity. I think we see a lot of celebrities that are very opportunistic getting into politics, but I don't know, it doesn't really bother me, a celebrity running. I think that's on the voter. That's what bothers me more. Voters advocating for someone strictly because you like their music, or you like I have friends that say they'll vote for Kanye. Why? Do you know his issues? But they just like him as a celebrity, which is great. I like Kanye too. So I think we just have to separate. I get more disappointed in the voter, not the celebrity. You can be a celebrity, and I'll still judge you on your views on the issues, but I'd like to see more voters. Yeah, sure, be a celebrity, but let's see where you stand on the issues before we make a decision.
Let's not forget that former U.S. President Ronald Reagan performed in 50 films in Hollywood before he became president.
And didn't he do a beautiful job?
A lot of people put him in the upper ranks of his presidency.
Well, Troy, are there celebrity politicians in Australia? Do you ever see that?
This is something that I find quite interesting, is that especially with this last election, this was my first time that I've seen the whole lead up to an election and then the actual election. But it's funny because I talk to my Australian friends about this all the time. They're fascinated with what's going on in America right now. And look, I believe, regardless of Kid Rock, I want to take on what you're saying. It is partly true. You are correct with what you're saying. But it also opens up a can of worms when you have unseasoned people who do not know as much as they really should about this country and about governing our laws and governing as a country. You see things fall apart or slip through the cracks, or they make a decision that's not quite right. Democrat or Republican, because I feel I'm a little bit of both, and that's the truth. I sort of, like to keep my toe in each pond, so to speak. But I do think that if he's good at what he's doing, I think it's okay, but he's unseasoned. And if he wants to come forward...
It's not just here in America. I mean, other countries elect, prominent business professionals, and they put them in their highest ranks of office. I mean, we can't just narrow down our pool to, past, veterans of Army service and stuff like that. That's a very fine pool. I mean, if we start dipping into these people and they have good beliefs,
I just see a lot of things going wrong right now that could be fixed if we have a bigger pool to choose from.
I enjoyed our discussion about it.
Thank you. I know you were scared, but I tried to keep it on track for us.
Kid Rock. Well, I forgot. I heard his real name on the radio today. And they're like, would he go by, Senator Kid Rock, or would it be his actual
Do you remember his name?
I can't off the top of my head. I'm blanking right now.
Okay, but it could be Kid Stone.
Yeah.
Who knows?